Most men, most men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers, and some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions. We don't know what it sounds like to hear, "I see you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're here. You really make a difference." Yet the expectation is to constantly be displaying the strength and love that the world is hesitant in conveying. We're expected to have a thick skin, but get judged if it turns to a hard shell. The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Because yes, boy, you're going to be starving. Starved of attention, starved of affirmation, starved of love, starved of being told that you are enough. Step two in being a man is comfortability with replaceability. You are only as good as you are useful. You are only as valuable as you are needed by others. Should there ever come a day, boy, where you fail to provide everybody with a smiling face, then do not be surprised when they say all men do is take up space, and you are swiftly. Most men, most men will only experience unconditional love from their mothers, and some of us don't even get that. Most of us have never even felt appreciation or respect without conditions or hidden intentions. We don't know what it sounds like to hear, "I see you, and I'm proud of you. I'm glad you're here. You really make a difference." Yet the expectation is to constantly be displaying the strength and love that the world is hesitant in conveying. We're expected to have a thick skin, but get judged if it turns to a hard shell. The first step in being a man is ignoring the hunger. Because yes, boy, you're going to be starving. Starved of attention, starved of affirmation, starved of love, starved of being told that you are enough. Step two in being a man is comfortability with replaceability. You are only as good as you are useful. You are only as valuable as you are needed by others. Should there ever come a day, boy, where you fail to provide everybody with a smiling face, then do not be surprised when they say all men do is take up space, and you are swiftly.
Just let me know when I'm ready. Hello, hello. Welcome to In the Zone podcast. I'm surrounded by very handsome alum men. I'm so excited to have this conversation on if men are loved unconditionally or men aren't loved unconditionally, which just to give a little background about how this even came about. I found this clip and I found this kind of ideology or this perspective interesting because I'd never really thought about it. And Brian and I proceeded to then argue about it for the next 90 minutes, right?
Sounds about right.
Which meant to me I needed to talk about it and bring it to you guys. So I'll go around the room. Anthony seems to be trying to find a spot to hang out in, so we'll let him figure out what's happening over there.
No, I'm good.
We'll
I'm
start
good.
to the gentleman to my left who was on our Greek. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say that. Greek Leather affiliate episode. Solomon. Hey, Solomon.
What's up?
Did the makeup person come?
No.
Oh shit. We'll try better next time. We try to up our production level.
Trying to get y'all in the top
you know
100.
What? I appreciate it. We gonna get them leather couches?
Yes.
Like Jesus and Mary?
Yes.
Okay.
He came in talking about the demos.
We're going to get some couches.
Just get all kind of shit. I was like, oh, word? Oh, okay. He didn't know I was going to make it fodder for the show, but that's okay. And then we have, you guys have seen him. He's been on, I don't know how many of our podcasts. Normally come in, me and him fight for a solid 15 minutes each time he's here. Javen from the A Lot podcast. Hey.
How y'all doing? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you ready to get to fight?
Yeah. I just left these badass kids. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You know what? Hey, why? Because they bad. What?
But what they got to do with the show?
Yeah, no, blood already going.
Oh, well, I'm so glad that you could join me with all that pent up hostility already.
Oh, I know you do.
And our last handsome gentleman, who is also an In the Zone alum, he was on our, what show was that? It was just filled with men. I don't even remember. All I do remember is that one dude told me to shut up and I lost my shit on him. Hey, Anthony, how you doing?
I'm good. How you feeling?
I am well. I would advise none of you all to tell me to shut up in any way. It will all go bad.
No.
I'm just kidding. So
I was raised with a mama. No,
right.
I'm sure he was raised with a mama, but he been in Africa.
I love my mama. You know what I'm saying?
He was from Africa.
He was in Africa.
Oh, right. Yeah, no. fam was wild as hell. That was my man though. He was no, for real. He was
one that
speaking
told
that
me to
gospel.
shut the fuck up.
Besides that part. Besides that.
He was half and half.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. You know
I'm so glad. I'm so glad y'all siding with the dude that basically told me to shut the fuck up.
No.
It's fine.
We agree with some, not all.
Okay,
Right.
that's the part y'all didn't agree with, but everything else y'all.
No, we did not agree with that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. I will set the tone. I am literally here for two things. I'm here to learn because this is something I never really thought about. And I'm going to challenge you all on some of the things you're going to say. I'm sure Javen will be no surprise to him because I do have a lot of questions. One's for clarity and one's because I think there's some things we just need to think through when we're talking about this. So I think the first question, I'll start with Anthony, since he is remote, is what does it mean to be unconditionally loved? What does it mean to love a man unconditionally?
I mean, when you say it's not what it means to love a man unconditionally. It should, in my opinion, just be what is unconditional love. Because right there, it starts with what is it to love a man unconditionally. It's the same thing as to love anything and anybody else unconditionally. Nothing should change. And unconditional love, in my opinion, is love with no strings attached. And when you unconditionally love someone, you in it not for yourself, but for them. And I'm gonna keep it like a real short answer like that. Unconditional love should not be like, what is it, to love a man unconditionally. That's what, and it should just be, what is unconditional love? And I say unconditional love, real short, is love with no strings attached.
Okay. One of our viewers, thank you, viewer, because this is an interesting thing to add on. And I'll move on to Solomon to kind of add on that piece. Same question. Well, first we'll start with, since the commenter is asking, can you define love? And then from there, tell me what unconditional.
I get the hard stuff.
I'm sorry, the question came late.
How can I define love?
Yeah.
It's just a feeling. It's just what you're willing to do for someone without regard to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that leads into unconditional love. If you are willing to give your love to someone without asking anything in return, what can they do for me? What do I get out of it? Or any of those things. What do they have to offer me before I give them my love? Then, I will love them unconditionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
I imagine your definition of both will be very, very similar.
Very. It's just not transactional. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I do this to get this. You know what I'm saying? It's not even that mindset.
So I guess I will start with you, Javen. If unconditional love is love with no strings, non-transactional, I'm going to throw in something nobody said, but if somebody thinks this is not part of it, definitely correct me. No expectations. Okay. I guess my question would then be, how do you fall in love with somebody, or how do you love somebody if you don't have any expectation, if you don't have things that create feelings for you? Where do those feelings come from? How do you fall in love with somebody? How do you love somebody?
Well, interactions dictate a lot of what goes on just with people. So I mean, you can meet somebody, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Don't know them for nothing, and you're around them for a week, and the way that you look at them, the way that you may feel about them, starts molding and changing. You know what I'm saying? It's just how people are. I mean, it's no real definition on how to get there per se, but it's energy. You know what I'm saying? And everybody can feel that. Everybody knows what this type of energy feels like to this.
But here's the thing I think I'm pointing at, right? And I'll talk about me. I can't love you. And I'm going to take kids and mamas out of that, because I think those come from, and even on some level, they do come from a very similar place. I can't love you if you don't treat me. I can't love you if you aren't kind and considerate. I can't love you if you don't make time for me. And I'll come back to you, right? And just from the idea of love, right? Those are conditions. Those are expectations, right? And I would find it, I challenge this idea of unconditional love because, you all are men, and I'm going to talk to you all like you're men. Y'all not dating nobody ugly. Y'all not dating nobody who don't, I'm going to be real vulgar right now, get your dick hard. Y'all just not. And those are conditions. So I
But
guess I'm concerned with this. Not concerned. I do have an idea that you guys are trying to communicate something, and unconditional love isn't necessarily it, but I'm okay with being wrong too. So Anthony,
I
kind of hop
think,
in here because I think you have something to say to that.
yeah. Well, first I wanted to say what my definition of love was, because
Yes.
I didn't answer that. And I think that when people ask that to define love, you can't define love because love is different for
Yeah.
each person. What I think is love and what I may feel is love may be different from you. And so that's why when I think love just consists of vibe and energy. And you can love somebody, like sometimes somebody, like some people think it's a fairy tale because they've never experienced this type of vibe where you just walk up to a person or whatever, whenever you guys connect, your frequencies come to pass, and you guys just know from that moment. You know what I'm saying? You know it's something special at that moment. And it don't take, that's what I'm saying. Like, to me, I don't believe you should have to I don't want someone to learn to love me. You know what I mean? If you don't feel it at that moment, and when I say feel it at that moment, I'm not talking about love, but you don't feel that feeling, that vibe, that I don't want you to, it has to be natural. It's not a learned process, in my opinion. And when we say expectations, unconditional love, like my opinion, just no strings attached, but it has to come with expectations. Everything comes with expectations, even unconditional love. I mean, you you, you expect to be loved back. You expect to be made to feel a certain way. So you can't take expectations out of it because expectations are a part of life. You can't, you know what I mean? You can say, you can phrase that different as far as expectations and demands are different. A
Okay.
lot of people have demands, and expectations and demands are two different things. So
Tell me
I,
why they're different. Kind of dig into that. What is the difference between an expectation and a demand?
um I expect you to love me, but I can't demand the way you love me, the way you
Okay.
go about it. I can't make that demand. I can expect to love you, but I can't demand the way. Okay, I need you to do this first. I need you to open up the door every time I get out the car. Then I need you to wake up. Those are demands. Expectation is me just expecting you to do the right thing.
Okay.
Well, my,
Okay.
my question earlier, when you were talking about
Yeah.
unconditional love and things like that, do you have a pet, cat, dog?
Yeah.
You love your cat. Cat don't do nothing for you.
I have a dog. Don't
You
make me a
a
cat lady.
dog. Okay. Even if you have a dog, no matter what you expect, you love your dog unconditionally. If they come and eat the food and walk away, they never allow you to pet them. They go hang out in another room. You gonna stop feeding them? You gonna kick them out the house? No, you gonna love them no matter what.
True.
So you do love things unconditionally.
But
But there's not a man that's going to live in your house that you're going to love the same way, that you're just going to feed and not expect him to love you back, or cook or clean or take care of him and not expect something in return from him.
Unless
So
you
you're not going
birth
to love
them.
him unconditionally. Um, I don't consider a good looking woman necessarily a condition, because we could all love ugly people too. And that's, how they look is defined by how you perceive
right.
them.
But we choose not to.
Well, you also are talking about maybe physical beauty versus inner beauty. Some people love a vibe. I don't care what she looks like. If her vibe is good,
Facts.
I'm a like that.
But what I'm pointing at is all of those are conditions. Whether you realize it or not, her looks, she has to look a certain way for you to engage. That's a condition. Whether it's what's the word I'm looking for? Whether it's superficial
But that's a
or deep,
condition. Ain't
but
that
it is a
ain't
condition.
that just a condition for her to actually be in that realm? Not necessarily to be loved
Right.
unconditionally.
But
You to
you wouldn't love her if she got ugly. You wouldn't.
that you can't really say that. I'm just
Yes.
saying. What No, I'm
That's
being
a
for real.
Okay. Look,
That's
I
a
don't even get
condition.
so I'm gonna roll with
real.
what you tell me.
Look,
But if she did other, that's just one condition, right?
right,
If she doesn't do whatever it is you find to be valuable, right? And I'm just gonna throw out some
but you're
stuff
probably
that may
not
or
going to love her
Yeah, you would
if
still do that.
those conditions aren't met. You're probably not going to love her anyway. See, we talking about love and we talking about conditions. You have conditions right now. If I meet you, the way you want to be dated, those are your conditions. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I tell you I'm gonna be there by 7 o'clock, and I always get there at 9 o'clock, but some of your conditions are you can't have me just waiting, like you're not valuing my time. So
Right.
you don't even love me yet. Those are conditions prior to love. Conditions come before love, and if
But
those
you have
conditions are
to,
met,
right? Go ahead.
then you get love, possibly.
But you have to maintain those conditions to keep receiving love. You can't, or at least you shouldn't, right? If you have these things, like let's take the example that you can't leave her waiting, right? 6 months in, she loves you. 12 months after that, you start coming in at 11, 12 o'clock. Is your expectation that she's going to love you now that you're not meeting the condition that she set earlier?
I'm not respecting her. If I
But you're
start
not
doing,
meeting a
That's not a
condition.
condition. That's
That is
just
a
a
condition.
demand. That's a condition for a
That's a
relationship.
condition.
That's not a condition for love.
right, see, that's what I'm saying. I think it seems like you're confusing the two.
Yeah.
There's a difference between love and
Yeah.
a relationship.
Absolutely.
Isn't that a part of a relationship?
No, they're
It- it's-
friends you can love.
Oh, I'm so intrigued.
If you think about the theoretical friend zone,
Okay.
where you love a girl, you follow her around, you have a crush on her, you take her to the movies, you take her this, she gives you nothing in return. She doesn't call you, she doesn't text you, she doesn't consider you a boyfriend, but every time she needs something, you're there to meet her needs.
Right.
Every time you need something, she doesn't meet your needs, but for some reason, you still love her, you're still doing things for her. So you're not getting anything back. So you're unconditionally loving her. But she's only loving you on the condition you keep doing things for her.
But you love her because something in you is being met. You don't love her just for fun. There's something in you. There's something being satiated in you that she's providing. Now I don't know what that thing is, and I can't say in that example what it is. But nobody is around somebody unless something in them is being
But
met.
you still going prior. You know what I'm saying? Which loving something or someone unconditionally has nothing to do if I just met you, or it actually has time involved, time invested or whatever. The way that you're wording this, you know what I'm saying, or coming about this, you know what I'm saying, it's just in the understanding of what a condition is. Yeah,
Well-
okay, that's cool. But unconditional love is a whole different animal, because
But
you
how
have to
could-
actually know the person. It's not anything that just comes and we gonna call it a condition.
But what I'm saying is the opposite of a condition is unconditioned, right? Is unconditional. So the conditional is.
I'm going with the phrase. I'm not going with your
But-
your Merriam-Webster.
I mean,
defo.
but we live in an English world.
I
where
agree.
We take English definitions for meaning of words, right?
I totally agree.
So what I'm saying is that you all are telling me that there are no strings attached in unconditional love, right? Which I'm not going to argue. Fine. But what I'm asking is, how can you love somebody unconditionally when, in order to maintain your love for them, and this is for all things, mothers, dogs, cats, right? Dogs, they have to meet certain things in you for you to stay in that emotional state.
But the love is the condition. There are people who just love to love because they like the feeling, the euphoria of being in love. So they will fall in love with someone almost like a stalker. A stalker gets nothing from the thing, just the feeling of being in love. They're getting nothing back.
I would argue they do, but that's another argument for nothing. No, all I'm saying is people just don't do things unless something in them is being met.
But that's
all
what
human beings.
Yeah,
that's what the
Now,
relationship
it can be
is.
stupid. It can be something small, but something in them is being met that keeps them in that feeling.
Can it be as simple as I'm happy that I made that person happy?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So what we're going to say is that men will do that, women won't.
Correct.
Whoa. Wait.
Correct. I like where you went with that, son.
Wait a minute.
Correct.
That's the unconditional.
More so.
So wait, let's
If I love a woman, she can come live in my house. I will take care of her. I will meet all of her needs. I will do whatever she wants, even if she doesn't give me any conditions.
Okay.
See if any of your chat members as a woman have a man living in their house, doesn't cook, doesn't clean, doesn't give up anything, doesn't work, doesn't do anything else, but they love him enough to just, You
Let
take
him
whatever
stay
you
there.
want.
Ooh,
Yeah.
please don't bring me into that because I definitely know somebody
He
who
asked
does
you.
that.
No,
Oh
go
no, I
ahead.
for sure know a woman who her nigga was doing absolutely little if nothing outside of making sure the kid got
Right.
2 times
Understand
food.
this though. We speaking
didn't
about the
work.
majority. We gonna
Thank
speak
you,
about the
sir.
He just
majority.
asked. That was not the
Thank you,
question he
sir.
asked me. He asked me, "Do I know somebody that meets that what he says?" And
Do you
my
know
answer
two?
is yes.
Yes.
Can I
She
answer
loved
his goddamn
she
question?
You
she
already
loved
did.
she loved him under the condition that he would take her son back and forth
It
to
was his
school.
child. That was his responsibility.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Do you know two?
I'll say this.
If I knew 100, it would still not prove whatever point y'all trying to
That's
prove.
not
So the
bad.
number
Okay,
is
I'm
irrelevant.
gonna prove.
Now numbers are
Listen,
irrelevant?
what I'm
No,
saying
I
is
think
this.
it would be
If
irrelevant.
We're
to
not
your
gonna say
point.
all women. Is what
Right.
she's
It's
yeah.
what I'm
I
saying
look.
is it's always going to be like, well, it's not all women. Like, it's fine. I
If
get what you're trying to say.
okay, we gonna put it on. I'm gonna give you that Tyler Perry movie. I can't think of it, but when the guy made the woman think that he loved her, and it was just to dog him, so he could dog her later. You know what I'm saying? A person, it's women out there that's taking care of guys that ain't doing shit. They some bum ass niggas, but that woman love his holy draws. Yes, it's a lot of those out there. But we gonna speak on two different types.
Okay.
We're gonna speak on the majority,
Okay.
and then we're gonna speak on the ones who have some integrity.
Okay. I
You
like
know
where
what I
this is
mean?
going.
Women with integrity and the majority. Because yes, I know a lot of situations where it's a bunch of niggas that don't cook, don't clean. Baby boy, shit, y'all saw Baby Boy.
I swear, tell him. Y'all love his stinking ass draws. Jody.
Right. So we know everybody knows Baby Boys out there. You know what I mean? But that woman, she probably don't think highly of herself. You know what I mean? So we're gonna speak about women who speak highly of themselves and women with some type of morals and integrity. Because you definitely have to break it down like that.
Yep. I like where you're going.
So a woman who has something going for herself, we're gonna say that who believes in herself, she's a confident woman. What my man just described, no. She's not taking the guy, no bomb ass nigga. But a man, on the other hand, he will. He would take a chick he knows she ain't shit. Only thing she want to do is get her hair and nails done and on Instagram flexing. Some dudes will still fall in love with her and do those unconditional things that she didn't even ask him to do. He's just trying to think of those conditions so he can make sure he's trying to make her love him.
Yep.
So she don't even have to give him the conditions. He's conditioning himself.
So, okay, so I got to ask this question,
Gospel,
right?
Aunt, I see you.
Why do y'all do that? Because you can see how that's not.
Well.
Okay, you can hop in here too. You can see how that's not healthy, right? You got this
Yeah.
girl.
Pussy.
Who, I mean,
Pussy,
you
a
gotta
man biggest
see that that's not
downfall.
healthy,
It's a
right?
competitive market.
What's a competitive market?
I mean, you have to do certain things to get certain places. Some people
just
do.
talk freely here,
Some
Sean.
people do.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I'm gonna
I don't know what
say
you're trying to say.
you-
Can you
you-
just say what you're trying to say?
some
please?
people see it as unhealthy, but it takes experience and time to see that.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
You
totally
know.
That's
fair.
who.
Yeah. You don't see it sometimes at 15, 20, 25,
Right.
30, 35, 40.
So y'all not doing that at 50?
Yeah.
I mean, because you all will sit here and say that women, you got to have a job, you got to have a car, you got to have a house, right?
Mhm.
You can't win no woman's affection. And I'm not going to lie. Motherfucker like me, you're not winning my affection living at home with your mama. That's just not going to happen, right?
Why?
It just is what, why? Because you're not. But we're in two phases of our lives. And I'm not saying anything's wrong with you. Everybody got to go through what they got to go through. And maybe if we sat down and talked, I would kind of get why you're
just
there.
not going through it with him right now.
Yeah. It's not the time
So
and
you
place
will
for
love
you.
him as under the condition he doesn't live with his mom,
No, I actually
has a
probably-
job.
Go ahead.
Well, no, you
No,
that, you tell me the conditions.
My conditions aren't just like have to have your own home. You have to be I have a whole list actually. I should read it on air, but I'm not. What my conditions are is that you have to be a good person. You have to be thoughtful. You have to be kind.
You can do that at
You
his
have
mama
to
house.
love your family. You have to love your career. You have to love your life. I have very specific conditions that you
Love
have to
You
do.
just can't stay at your
career.
mama
You have to
house.
love your career.
Love
You
your
can love
career, so
but
you got to have a
can't stay at your
job.
mama house.
Right.
You
You
see
got
what
to
I'm
have.
saying? Make it make sense.
Right.
I did just make sense. Now he decoded it, which is fine, whatever, wherever you got to go with it. But I'm looking for somebody who is happy with himself, and I'm an addition to that happiness. I'm not looking for
Once
somebody who's
again,
looking for
he could do that at his mama house.
Maybe. I mean, and you know what? There may be a reason he may be taking care of his mama.
Right.
Those things
So
could
you
be
love
the
him
case.
under the conditions of the reason
You
that
can't.
he's at his mama's house.
You can't gotcha.
Here
Everything you're saying is
we
correct.
go.
There's
that-
no gotcha here.
That's why some
I'm
things,
just clarifying.
if you want to look at it like
It's not
that,
a gotcha question. Can't
that's
gotcha.
why some things become the word unconditional. It leads to that because you can meet a person, right? Let's say you meet this guy, you speak to him every day. You guys see each other at lunch. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I don't think love has a timetable on it. Me personally, but just say you start loving this guy, right? You start loving him, and then now you start finding out like, oh shit, he lived with his mama. You know what I'm saying? If you still love him, that's that there you go. There go that unconditioned right there. You had a condition, but you're willing to let that condition go
That
because
hard
you
Did
love
you
stop.
him.
leave him alone?
This is not. First of all, this is
No,
not
no,
about
no,
me.
no, no.
No, but I'm
This
just
show is
saying
not
Okay,
about
check
that's
it
me.
what
out.
it
It's
does.
about
Now it becomes
Sitting
it's
in the
about
center
the
seat facing the
understanding.
camera. How's it?
See,
I'm
that's
the
why
host.
I got
I am the host. I'm supposed to be guiding this ship so I
Anthony
can
said
learn
it.
about.
Anthony said it well. You meet someone, you start to
Mhm.
fall in love. It gets to a point where they don't meet conditions. Women have a hard stop.
Hard
He lived
stop.
with his mama. A man will get to that point and be like, well, I
Is
still
that a
love
hard
her.
stop for you?
I'm gonna keep going on.
he's going
Is
un
that
and it's going that condition is not
Yes.
going to be unconditioned.
it
And that's what
depends.
unconditional love is.
And then we're gonna put it back on y'all. But I'll answer this question just to be fair. It depends. Why are you at your mama house? Are you like addicted to 2K23 golf? Like, why are you taking care of your mama? Like, I don't know what's happening. I need some understanding of what's happening.
What if he's just with his mom because he's comfortable? Like just say he makes $150,000 a year, and he doesn't even play 2K, but he still lives at his mom's house because he's comfortable doing so.
Comfortable? Why? Like, why?
Why spend money you ain't got to?
Because maybe he want to get
Yeah,
maybe
Jay?
he's not gonna buy
I
a
didn't
house
actually.
until he starts a family. Some people don't buy houses until they start their family,
Right.
and he
I'm not
doesn't.
even necessarily saying you need to buy a house.
No,
I-
but say he don't feel a need to
Jay's
move
answer,
out.
the studio audience.
Jake, what did you say? I'm
Jake.
sorry.
Boom.
Can't
I
have
didn't hear
that,
what
huh?
he said.
That can't do
Y'all so
that.
full of shit.
What you
Y'all
mean?
gonna make it everything, but you know what? I'm about to fine.
Women
are
live with their mama
assholes.
all the time.
No, that's not what
It's
I'm
not.
just so women are assholes. We have conditions.
I didn't hear
Shame
nobody
on
say.
us.
I didn't hear nobody say women are assholes.
I'm exaggerating.
That's
Women
right.
live at home with their mom all the time.
Oh.
Women be living at home with their mother till they like 35, and nobody looks at that.
Wait.
I
I'm
do.
sorry, Anthony. We doing all this side conversation. Could you repeat that?
Oh, I said women live with their moms all the time, and nobody looks at them the same way.
Whose fault is that?
It's nobody's fault. We just not judging.
You living with your mama, not me.
We just not judgmental.
It's Look, what I'm pointing at is that he lives with her mama. Y'all don't give a fuck. Whose fault is it that she's able to get away with that?
But why
Is
would
that
she be? I'm not
fault
gonna
that she can
judge
get
her.
away with that, or is it y'all fault that she could get away with that?
It's nobody's fault. We just not gonna judge her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then okay.
But your condition is he should not live with his mom. Our condition is we don't care.
It depends on why he's living with his mama.
So, but once again, that's the unconditionally love
don't
part.
care why you living
we
with your mama.
love whether, no matter what the
We're not gonna get
conditions.
into why y'all don't really care.
You don't love, and unless certain conditions are met. Whether you're living with your mom, why you're living with your mom,
true,
what career you have, what stage you are in life. Those are not conditions that we are setting forth before we love you.
Okay, so fine. I'm not arguing whether y'all have it or not. Nobody has said men and women have the same kind of conditions, but y'all do have conditions. Y'all making it seem like y'all just walk in a room and it's like,
So the
Well,
question
she's
is,
in my space, so I'm gonna love her. That's not what the
see,
fuck
No,
happened.
no.
I've already explained that. No, you
your
had to have
podcast was
time
why
in
are men
first.
not unconditionally loved? Why don't you explain why we're not unconditionally loved?
Good job,
Why
Solomon.
okay, why don't y'all tell me why
No,
not unconditionally
wait,
loved?
no. That was a good question.
I don't.
You're a woman.
I cannot sit here.
How can you not?
Can I get my
Sure,
point
go
out?
ahead.
Thanks, David. At the start, before we even started this thing, Javen was like, "Do I believe that men are unconditionally loved?" I'm assuming everybody here says yes, right? Anthony, yes. Are not unconditionally loved. Sorry, you all aren't unconditionally loved. Yes, you agree with that?
I mean, I agree that men aren't unconditionally loved without stipulations.
Correct.
So no, they're not unconditionally loved. Okay,
Yeah.
they're not.
No, men are not unconditionally loved.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are
Because
men
there's always
unconditionally
strings
loved?
attached.
Are men unconditionally loved?
No.
So the question is, do I think men are unconditionally loved?
Mhm.
I don't. No, I don't think anybody is. But that's just my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think women are. I think kids minimally are unconditionally
This is
loved,
crazy.
and I don't think what is crazy about that? Because I don't think anybody is unconditionally loved. I think
Men-
everybody has to meet some expectation. Yes,
Men, period, though, are looked at to bring in some type of value.
I don't
Whatever
disagree with
that maybe is, whatever that is.
Okay.
Okay. Ladies can move around in a different space that men can't in that avenue. That's some innate type shit.
But what I'm saying, Javen, I'm not disagreeing with you. You all do have to bring value, but women do too. They can't be valueless to you. Now, is the value the same? Here's the thing you all are trying to make be the same, and it's not. Men don't value women the way that women value men. You all find value in different things than women find value in men. Can we all agree to that? Yes?
I can.
Okay. So everybody needs to bring something to the table that the other person needs.
Okay.
What I'm telling you all is everybody has to bring value. Thus, everybody needs to meet a condition. Now,
What
are the
I'm-
conditions the same? I would never argue that they are.
I'm not saying, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's the pre. When you start loving somebody unconditionally, there's time invested.
Okay.
It's not.
So-
Let's ask a different question.
What I will
Can you all maintain your love if she stops meeting whatever made you?
Honestly,
made you
yes.
valuable in the first
Yeah.
place?
It's
You
men.
all can?
It is men.
Yes.
It's
Okay.
men for
Yes.
decades that still love this
Mm.
specific person. If this specific person came into play, they would have
they
to
would
scratch
drop
their head.
everything for them,
Now,
Seriously.
and they would
that's
get nothing out of it. Yep.
Seriously.
Now, why do you all do
I don't know.
that? The fuck are you here for? Shit. Why are you here?
I'll tell you why.
Not knowing.
Shit, if I knew the answer to that, that would have been 6 relationships ago.
Like for the women, before they love, like relationships. Relationship is the
I ain't lying. The hell is she talking about?
Anthony, first of all,
My bad. And I was reading the damn girl, lady.
Ebony.
Shit.
Okay.
clearly Javen has just totally stepped over
My
what you're
bad,
trying to
man.
say.
I'm
Ant, go ahead.
Say it again.
what I was saying was like a relationship, that's the road to love, right? But for a man, his dick and his money are going to come into play, one or the other, before love does.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you, as a woman, your dick has a small percentage of getting you some love, but that's a whole
Ooh.
nother podcast for another day.
pun intended.
But no, that's speaking of you. But again, I'm talking about one of those thoughts. If a dude is broke and he can't fuck,
Oh, you're
his
right.
chances
He's
of being
nothing.
loved
Two conditions.
That's true. You're right.
Two conditions.
You're right.
Good call.
are
Call it what it
almost
is.
I ain't
slim
gonna
to
lie
none.
about that.
He has to be able to either eat your pussy to make you come sexually, or fulfill your monetary needs. If he
This
can't
is correct.
sexually or monetary, if he can't meet any one of those needs, the chance that he can find a motherfucking needle in a haystack before he'll be able to find love, it's gonna be something. Or he's never gonna be loved. If he can't do either one of those, he'll never. Only thing he'll be doing is what he's useful for. Like if he one of them dudes on a job, he have to clean up the house every day and stuff before she get home from work and stuff and cook. But he'll never be respected.
But here's what I want to get into, right? Because you all said something that is intriguing, that you all can love somebody who no longer meets your conditions. And Solomon couldn't answer this question. Anthony, why do y'all do that? Why do y'all continue to love somebody who no longer meets
Men,
the conditions?
if you look
Hope.
at like right now,
Desperation.
study shows that 80% of divorces
Yes,
are
sir.
filed by
By
women.
women.
So for a man, we'll roll a relationship until the wheels fall off. That's
Correct.
just
But
what
why
it
do y'all
is.
do that?
Because we love you unconditionally.
We're built that way. We're built to try to
Right.
fix this shit, not run from this
I
shit.
need you to calm
My
down
bad.
and answer the question.
We try to. What men? Most men that I know try to fix situations
Okay.
more so than just listen to whatever.
Okay.
What's your problem? Cool. Let's get this done. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? If I fucked up, let me get this in order to get this done.
Okay.
Not to go away. Ladies will just go away and reset. Men, I'm a man. Men may have a problem resetting like that.
Okay. I can accept that.
It's easier for women to love than it is for men to love. And it's just like for me, why did I stand until the wheels fell off? Because I loved you and I had a feeling for you that I didn't get for those other million women. You know what I'm saying? I just got that feeling for you. So I know that feeling don't come a dime a dozen. So I'm not just willing to let that feeling go, knowing that it's gonna be like y'all think you know, like to the next, Beyonce, you know, y'all had that mindset. Oh, you feel I have another you by tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not in love with a woman I think I can have tomorrow. If I can have another you tomorrow, that love wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying? So men stay based off of, damn, she's special to me. I'm not gonna find nobody as special as she is.
Both of these comments are off kill.
Well,
Yes and no. I like Miss Moody's comment about ego. It's more than ego. I think it's innate. As a man, once you put your mind on a task and once you dedicate yourself to something, you're going to stay on that task. If I dedicate myself to loving you, I'm going to stay there and I'm going to continue to love you as long as I can. Whereas women,
women love out of happiness in situations like that. What makes them feel good. You know what I'm saying? When the feel good goes away, they go away. The man is going to sit in, however treacherous or however bad it may be, with the thought of trying to fix this or that. Most times can't be fixed because baby girl already left mentally. You know what I'm saying? Because of not being happy. Men have been built to not be happy. Happiness is a plus. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a man's
in the
life.
minute.
I just have I want to.
There you go.
I just have a question about what he just said, that men aren't built to be happy. Is it that you all aren't built to be happy, or you all aren't conditioned to be happy? You're not socialized to be happy.
You're saying socialized by women not to be happy?
By society, sweetie. And if we want to get into who is happy in society, we can talk about that. We can most certainly talk about that.
Half of society is women.
I mean, to me, Bill,
who created all the? They created masculinity. They created femininity. They created how we think about
women.
White men. Don't do that. You all are educated men. You all know that everything.
Wait a minute. White men came up with what?
I'm ignoring.
No, they came up with
David is not gonna sit here and put me on that motherfucking soapbox.
Came up with what?
You're right. Society has created.
Was created by who? It wasn't created by women.
No.
Dang, who was in charge? Who leads
was
countries
in charge?
again?
Wait, man.
Who did all
It's different than who was created.
Time out. See, that's what I'm saying. That makes no sense. Who is the number
let's start
one?
off. Let's start off with a man. A man didn't decide to sail across the ocean because he wanted to. It was because of some woman on the other side of that ocean.
I agree. What?
They didn't. You know what? We going back to the goddamn subject.
This is a capitalist society, right? You said society, right?
Hey, look.
Capitalist society.
I assume women came up with capitalism,
women
right?
control 70-80% of the consumer market.
And we created
So that
capitalism.
means
right? We created capitalism.
Move the dollar.
We created capitalism.
Oh,
okay. I'm gonna go back to the subject at hand.
Because
go ahead with
like,
the avenues
that
that you
makes
go.
like literally no sense.
That's not true.
When you start off like this,
so black people have spend a lot of money in the society. What are you trying to say?
I'm trying to say that black women have more say so in how society goes than black men.
But I said, who created society? Who created the rules of society? That was my question. You made it something totally different.
Rules change. You brought up the feminists, this and that or whatever, and said that white men
created. Yes, they did.
White women in California came up with the feminist bullshit. and y'all jumped on some shit that had nothing to do with y'all.
Okay, we're changing the subject back to what we're
But
talking
I'm just
about.
going on what you said.
No, you're making it be
All
other
right,
things I
you
did
got
not
it.
say.
Rewind the tape,
All right,
Jay.
look.
Okay, so
Look.
back to the subject at hand, because I'm gonna ask a new question, right?
We taking notes.
Please take all the notes. Matter of fact,
I'm
record
glad
it
be
down,
to
take a
be
picture.
We got
laughable.
5 podcasts coming up just on
You
this.
said what?
I'm just reading the comments from
He's
Facebook
laughable.
user.
Okay, here's a question. I'm pretty sure I know where this is gonna go, but I'm gonna ask it. Should men be unconditionally loved, and what would it mean for you guys to be unconditionally loved, Solomon?
I was gonna say love without condition.
Now, what does it mean to you all? Like, yes, the definition would be to be loved with no conditions, but what would that mean to y'all if you all were able to actually access unconditional? Maybe I'll say it that way.
It'll mean the world.
I need
Ooh,
more
good one.
context in that. We have a podcast. We got to fill up the time, sir.
The
Okay,
understanding
like
that
this.
if I don't
Just say I
wait.
lose my job. Just say I lose my job, right?
right, I was going to
Yeah.
say
I lost my job. I want to feel the love. Like, I'm already stressed because I lost my job and everything that comes along with it. On my ride home, I don't want to have to think about what my wife is going to think and do she think I'm a failure and stuff like that. I want to come home knowing I can't wait to get home because I'm so hurt that I lost my job. I can't wait to get home to my wife, and the only thing she's going to do is hug me and say, baby, we're going to make it like we make it always. And just like you got that job, you'll get another one. I don't want to come home to, well, what did you do? Well, why did they fire you? What we going to do next? You know what I'm saying? That's not, you're not even concerned about my emotional being at the time. You're concerned about how I'm gonna pay the bills and why did I get fired? Because I did, goddammit. I don't want to talk about that shit right now. I just want to be fucking knowing that I can come home and be hugged and be like, you know what, baby, fuck them. They didn't deserve you anyway.
Okay, I can totally. You want to add on to that?
Well, another thought popped in my head about a couple years ago when women were saying, I'm an independent woman. I don't need a man for anything.
Good Lord. Here we go. Yes.
So
Here we
basically, if you don't need a man for anything, then it shouldn't matter whether you love him or not because there shouldn't be any conditions because all you got to do is love him.
everything by
Right. You
yourself.
can do everything by yourself.
That's a leap, but okay. I'm gonna go with what you're saying. That's a twinge of a leap.
So, but you've never heard a man say, I don't need a woman.
Oh,
Whether we have issues with you or stresses with you or love you, we never say, I can do all this by myself. I don't need a woman for anything.
Tell me, what's
That's
the reason?
reasonable.
What's the reason?
Because what women are actually saying when they say I don't need a man, right? They're not saying, and I could, just to be accountable as a woman, I can see how men would hear that as I don't need you in my space. I don't need your ass here. You can go away somewhere. I'm going to say as a woman, that's not what they mean. What they're saying is, and I know Javen's about to jump out the window when I say this, but that's okay. He'll be all right. Society has always conditioned women that in order to achieve certain things like having a house, having a bank account, building wealth, you need a man in your space to be able to achieve those things. And what women are saying is, I don't need you to hit the milestones within life that we usually look to men to accomplish.
Because you can hit them by yourself.
Because we can hit them by ourselves.
So
That
then the
makes
only
sense.
thing you need a
Hey.
man for is love.
So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Good job. Good job.
So you're saying you can love a man unconditionally.
We've already distinguished I cannot. But I'm also saying
point made?
I didn't say his point was wrong. I never said that. I was like, okay, I get it.
No, it was a question. I just said point made.
What point was made, darling?
No, don't do it. See,
What
they
point
go
was
the
made?
lane that we talked about earlier.
What point was made? I'm trying to make sure I'm following the bouncing ball. What point was made, darling?
You can't love unconditionally.
We said this at the top of the
Right,
goddamn show.
No. But the point that he was making, look at the scenario that he put into play. That happens more so than not.
Okay.
This kind of answers the question that you have posed for this whole demo. Can men? Sure. Do they get it? Not really.
I never asked if y'all did or didn't. I said, what would it mean for you all if you were unconditional?
Well, I was just talking about what was the total
Like
question.
Ann said, it would mean the world. Yeah.
It would mean
Yeah,
the
it
world.
mean the world.
Again, we have a podcast. We need to fill up some time.
it would mean
It would mean instead of
everything.
it would mean instead of constantly focusing on trying to do stuff to get your love, we could just embrace your love and be in the moment
Okay, so
of having the love.
So I'm gonna have Javen pop in here because it's gonna be an interesting question. So you guys feel like you're constantly, or at least what I'm getting from what you're saying is that in relationships, you have to constantly prove yourself to be loved.
Yeah.
Ooh, you gotta buy flowers. Ooh, you gotta go on dates.
Yeah.
Ooh, you gotta make sure you're doing this. Ooh,
Yeah.
you gotta make sure you're doing that. Ooh, you.
How many ladies do you know that left they guy because they was boring?
None.
Oh,
I don't know not
okay,
one.
I know
Man.
one.
David, either you're gonna accept the answers I give
I
you,
accept
or
it.
you gonna
No,
tell
no.
me whatever answer I'm
No,
supposed
no,
to
I
say.
So-
We can make
accept
this
it.
go
That one for
faster.
you. That one for you.
I don't know any
So
woman who's
what
done
I'm what
that.
I'm saying is, yeah,
Man.
you want to make sure you got something for sweetheart, sweetest day. Then you want to make sure you have something for
All
Christmas. Then
these
you want to
things.
make sure you have something for Valentine's Day. Then you want to make sure you have
Jake,
something for their
Can you
birthday.
mute Anthony because it's a lot of background?
And then you want to make sure you have something for the anniversary. You're constantly trying to, what can I do to
One up
bring
what I've already done.
right to top what I've already done? What am I? I'm constantly in this trying to keep up the relationship, trying to do everything. Whereas all we're asking for is, if we stop doing everything, you still gonna love us? And the answer is
Depends. That's
depends,
the
right?
answer.
Depends.
Flip a coin. Depends.
No, I'm not.
Relationships are like a diaper.
No, I'm not.
It's shitty.
I mean, that's the
Stuff.
truth. If
I appreciate that.
if the things that you did
Mhm.
to get me, you stop doing,
Right.
and we're gonna talk about these small things because there are big things too. Like if you're not buying me flowers, if you're not telling me I love you, if you're not,
Then you're not gonna fall in love.
no, I will. If I'm already there, I'm talking about if I'm
If
You talk
in
about
love.
going
Okay.
forward.
I'm
These
going
will pull
to,
you back.
I'm going to start to recoil. I'm going to
Uh-huh.
start having questions because you have to, and men will tell you this all the time, right? You have to do the things that you did in the beginning to keep her. And they say this about women all the time because sometimes, and I will say as a woman, we do slack off on the things that we did to get you.
Huh.
We won't cook as much.
Huh.
I don't cook at all. That's why you can never expect that from me, but I digress. We will do that, and it wouldn't be unfair, in my opinion, that if a woman stops doing the things that you all fell in love with originally, I would not be upset with you guys if you were like, "Nah, we can't move forward," and I don't want to continue this because I
Mhm.
think that's important in a relationship. If you date the woman at the beginning, you need to keep dating her.
Is that because you are letting that go because that's how you as a woman would feel? Because men are expected to go through those rough patches, those rough areas or whatever. Like if you with your girl, you have a baby girl got bigger. She's bigger than what you walked in with.
Right?
You know what I'm saying? The understand is you should understand that she had a baby. This is your seed.
That's right.
You
Yeah.
you take lady as she is. You know what I'm saying? With that, maybe everything else slows down. She doesn't do half the
She don't
things
want
that
to have
she
sex
did.
as
You know what I'm
much
saying?
anymore. Yeah.
But you are expected to stay there and work through that as a man.
Yeah, I can see that.
You know, so do you see the difference in that as well, right?
Motherfucker, I just said I can see that. What the fuck do you want from me?
Just to repeat.
God
Yeah,
damn. Huh?
No, I was looking at Ebony's comment.
Yeah, a man from creation was made to provide. A woman was
Can we
made
bring
to
that
help,
up?
help and nurture.
So, Damon, do you want to read it out
Sure,
loud?
a
For all of
man
us?
from creation was made to provide. A woman was made to help and nurture. That's built in us, which is his thought was if was fired, she might say,
Somebody needs some glasses.
why did you get fired? What happened? His innate build is to provide. I'm not saying that his woman will have that response. You beat yourself up with it before you made it to the house.
All right, I'm gonna say, can I get in? Can I get in?
It's stuffed up. Maybe
Basically,
it was.
she's saying you're
I get what
stressing
she's
yourself
saying,
out
though,
before
right,
you get
exactly.
home.
Somebody help me because
She's
Can I
saying
get
that
in?
you
Can I get in?
already made a determination before you got home.
Can I get in?
about how she's gonna respond?
Yeah.
Oh, she's not wrong.
Go ahead,
I'm sorry, what'd you
Anthony.
say?
Men conditions stay the same. Like a person to say a man is expected to provide and all that. Everybody wants those same conditions, but those conditions, a man used to expect a woman to be a virgin when he got with her. A man would, when everybody would stay old fashioned. That's what I'm saying. The women, y'all conditions got amended because of whatever reasons. I should have been grandfathered in. You know what I'm saying? I should didn't get the change.
We going there. Thank you for saying that, Anthony.
But y'all
here's
should
my
got the
question.
change. You know what I'm saying? A woman was expected to cook, be able to sew. You know what I'm saying? A man right now, a man is still expected to know how to change oil, fix flash, fix a door.
Yes, sir.
But a woman is not expected. I don't got to know how to cook. I don't got to know how to sew. And
Correct.
all of
I
that
gotta,
shit. I don't
I
believe.
wouldn't argue. We don't expect y'all to
Hold on,
change
let me
oil.
finish. That's why I stayed
Who
quiet for
gonna
a long
change the
time,
oil?
because I just wanted to get
Right.
a whole thought out. Women don't have, like I said, a man is, if a woman to talk shit about a man, girl, we got a flat, and this boy had to call AAA. He couldn't even take off a flat tire. You know what I'm
Facts.
saying? But
I'ma get
if
you.
I ask a woman to make Thanksgiving dinner and she can't make it, it'd be, oh, why you gotta put that on me? Put that stereotype on me because I'm a woman. You should know how to cook too. Just because I'm a
I
woman
love
don't mean
that.
I should know how to cook. So
Always come
that's
on.
why we can never be love on conditions, because our conditions stay the same and y'all conditions get upgraded all the damn time to fit your narrative. You know what I'm saying? A woman want to be the woman, but when that bill comes, women don't always like. Some women do, but for the most part, we expect it to pay. Anything monetary, we always expect it. You know what I'm saying? And like if it's
Okay.
ladies free, a woman will be like, no, let me pay. I'm equal. She take that ladies free. Women take whatever it is to benefit them. You know what I'm saying? Well, a man has to stick to those guns his
Speak your
entire life.
gospel, man.
Our
I
shit don't never get upgraded ever,
I
or men.
disagree. I disagree, and here's what I'm gonna say. I get what you're saying, and on some level, I see why you all think that. But this is an interesting
Think.
conversation, right? Yes, think. These are thoughts, sweetie. Yes, think.
No,
So I was having a conversation. Let me get this out. I was having a conversation with a male friend who builds shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
He builds his deck. He puts in the kitchen cabinets. He does a lot of shit for his wife, right? He's very hands-on, right?
Mhm.
I'm currently dating somebody who has flat out told me I'm not shoveling snow. I will pay somebody to shovel snow before I get out and shovel that fucking snow myself,
Word.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's absolutely said that. So
what's wrong with
my
that
friend
though?
was like, huh?
Yeah, if
Like,
you can afford it,
if you can
97.
afford
Oh,
it,
wait, but I'm not done. I'm not done. Let me finish. So my friend is on the phone and he's like, how the fuck can you date a dude who won't even shovel the snow? I said, sir, if my expectations was for a man to do everything a man in the 1950s would do, I could never date anyone because men don't change oil. They can't fix cars. They can't fix plumbing. They can't put up drywall. They can't install a faucet at this point in time. So my expectations of a man are not that he does things with his hands any longer. Yes, I do expect you to pay for the meal. Absolutely. I
as
own
he
my own
should.
home, so I can't expect you to buy me a house because I already have one. That can't be an expectation either. I expect you to get my car wash. You not doing it yourself. I expect you to take it to the car wash. You take your shit and get your car washed.
Why
So
not
I
wash
would.
your car?
You did
It's
wait.
your car.
what? So my point being, right? I think you all think that women have, and maybe it could be certain women, right? It's very possible this is a very individual basis, so I can own that. But I think there are very few women in this planet that expect y'all to fix some plumbing in their house, or fix some electrical work,
I'll be
or
honest with
change
you.
the oil. I think those are very few.
I
and far
disagree.
between.
I'm gonna go more so with the dudes that you actually deal with. Like I had a dad, and dad made sure. Whether you know or not, I'm a unionized bricklayer. We had to go through bricklaying. We had to go through carpentry.
Okay.
So all the things that you said, I'm sitting there like, I do that shit on the side.
But how many men do you know that bricklay
Whoa,
or
Hey,
weld?
look,
whoa!
How many do
Forget
you
bricklaying.
know?
How about change a
You
tire or change some oil?
That's a good question.
Most
How many?
most men know how to change a tire and change some oil.
we've been
I
changing our
swear to
bike
God.
tires.
Maybe they do. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna say this:
my question is, why don't women?
I do know
a
how to change
man,
a tire.
Okay.
a
Sorry.
lot of
There you go.
times,
Why you talking shit? I know how
I'm
to change
just
a tire.
asking.
We're
Okay.
gonna do it right now.
right?
Let's go.
But a lot of times, the man's talent and even a woman's talent sometimes is based on their income. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I say based on their income, back in the day, yeah, man knew how to do all that shit because he couldn't afford to go get that shit done. He couldn't pay
Correct.
nobody to do that shit. You
I
know what I'm
agree.
saying? Like back then, a black dude couldn't, back in the days, didn't have money to have somebody to come build them a house. They had to learn how to build them a house and
Yes.
so forth and so forth. You know what I'm saying? But a rich person, somebody who's very rich, don't know how to do a lot of shit because they pay people. You don't even have to be very rich. I'm gonna just say the shovel in the snow part. If I don't have to shovel snow, I'm not going to shovel snow. I hate being cold. So I don't want to
I don't think that'll prove that I'm a man because I went out there and shoveled some snow.
That's how he feels.
I'd rather look at that dude shoveling that snow. To be honest, while I'm in a warm house, you know what I'm saying? Because
What the fuck is happening here?
I've
Continue.
done what I'm supposed to do as a male. That my time is too valuable, maybe, to be outside shoveling snow. You know what I'm saying? I could be making more money doing something else than out there shoveling snow. So why can't I pay this dude $20 to shovel my snow? You know, I want the people to come and do my lawn. It's the same thing. You don't be out there playing your. Some people do, but a lot of people get the little Mexicans to come through. They mow their grass and manicure it. It's the same thing.
I agree, but all I'm saying is, all I'm doing is challenging what you said, that women or the expectations or the conditions of men have remained the same since the 1950s, and I would challenge that that's not true. To your point, right? If you make a certain amount of money, Anthony just said he don't shovel snow because he's like his time is too valuable.
So wait, I got a point up to you.
Provide.
I got a
I
point.
will shovel snow.
The values from whatever is provide. How it's provided has no bearing in a sense. If he says he doesn't shovel snow, the snow is shoveled, he provided a way to get that done.
I need you to take the volume down just a touch.
I have a question.
That's not what we're arguing here. Yes.
So you're saying that if your man doesn't shovel snow, change a tire, do the oil, but he's able to pay someone to do that, that's fine. That's an expectation.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ask my woman to cook, but she doesn't cook, she would rather go out to eat. But then as a man, I got to pay for it. Then you just lost your expectation.
Boom.
I never said. When did I say this? All I said was
you expect a man to pay for dinner.
Let me clarify something here. Because what Anthony said was that the expectations of men have remained the same since the 50s. What I have pointed out is those expectations have evolved because of a lot of reasons. People make more money, to his point. They don't have the same amount of time, and they don't have the same amount of desire to go out and shovel snow, which I completely respect.
What are the expectations of women that have changed since the 50s?
Ask Anthony, because he said that they were different.
Okay, if a man, I'm going to say it. If a man, like you said, when a man expectation changes, yeah, they'll let them change, but then they also get labeled. You know what I'm saying? If a man can't, he'll get labeled as soft. He'll get labeled as not being a man. Like his expectation, but he'll get adjectives thrown at him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But if with the woman still get to be a real woman. But when those men can't do those things you just said, he's not even considered a real man. You know what I'm saying? But if a woman can't cook, it's okay. If she can't, right now, a woman can't, if you tear your jacket, you better hope the cleaner's open. I guarantee you, how y'all know a woman, how you say you know a woman that was taking care of a man, I bet you don't know the same amount of women who can sew.
I would never argue that. That is absolutely true. I personally can sew a button. That's about the extent of my experience.
If you meet a woman and she can't cook,
okay,
then is the expectation that she needs to figure out how food gets to you too?
I mean, if you set that condition in your relationship, then yes.
But you've already said that you expect the man to pay for the food. So basically, I'm not only fixing everything or paying to get stuff fixed, I'm fixing the food or paying for the food.
Oh, so you've made my comment a totality. Oh, okay.
I'm just asking. So what is the woman doing then? I'm not saying she has to cook, she has to clean, she has to do any of that. But what is the expectation for her to do on her side?
To have a vagina?
I have a comment for that, but I'm gonna be cool. I'm gonna be motherfucking cool today. Here's what I would say.
Hey, right, you know what I'm saying?
If we're talking about me, since we're clearly talking about me.
No, we're not talking about you.
No, because his comment was about something I said about men need to pay, right?
I don't want it to be about
I expect my man to pay. So let's hop into that for a second. If we're at dinner, sure. Does that mean that I never pay? I never said that. I absolutely pay for dinners. I will absolutely bring food to your house if I'm on the way to your house. So absolutely, I am and he's probably sitting there watching right now like, I wish I could comment and say something fucking smart. But I am a very tit for tat partner in my relationship. And Jake, we'll just go 5 minutes over. It's not. You did that the last time that he saw it and he hopped off. He was like, I am not staying for this shit again. But I am, and I think, and look, I don't date women, so I can only talk from me and the women that I know. But the women that I know give as well as they get, right? Do they all cook? Some do, some don't. And some change their tire, some do, some don't. I will say, I dated a dude who could not change a tire. I stopped him mid-tire change and said, could you move over for a second? And I changed the tire, and I never mentioned it again.
That would have hurt my heart.
I'm sure it hurt his ego to his core, but I was sick of him about to fuck up my car. What else was I supposed to do? And I continue to be with him at that. So here's what I'm gonna say, and we're not gonna belabor the point any longer.
Okay.
In these last 5 minutes, right? Because there's one question I definitely want to ask, and I want you guys to be able to speak as much as you can for men, right? About what women can do differently so that you guys feel unconditionally.
Right, Dad.
I love you too, man.
Aww.
That's unconditional love right there. Good job, man. Hey, timing is everything. Awesome, sir.
I don't know who you are, but that was adorable.
Awesome.
I can't see either.
Oh, that's my son.
I mean, but they love them because
That
they
was
got a
dope.
roof over their head, the
Yes,
internet's
sir.
on, and they got a
Aw.
PlayStation. So
You're making me miss my baby.
That was dope.
Uh,
I like it.
What can women do differently outside of emasculating y'all by calling y'all names? Because I think we talked about that. And chest being a vagina, don't think I forgot that shit. What can women do differently?
it's not about that. You can get that without the rest of the noise. So it's got to be more. Say thank you. Show some appreciation. Stop always belaboring small points when there's a bigger picture.
Yeah.
If you love someone overall,
Yeah.
yet you're constantly on this tit for tat. Well, yeah, I love you, but you didn't do this. Yeah, I love you, but you didn't do that. Well, I did that. All right. Well, yeah, you did do that. So, yeah, give them some peace about it. You know, they say I love you, and they don't say I love you because you cook. I don't love you because you wash clothes or anything. They just said, I love you because you're there. Let them know you love them because they're there. You know.
I think that is I can really roll with that. I know Javen got something smart to say, so let's open the floor to him.
Honestly, I really don't. Say the question again. What can
women do so that men feel more? My question that I've written down: what can women do so men feel more loved? Or to stick with the topic at hand, so you feel unconditionally loved.
You know what?
He said that off mic, but they also want more BJs.
That works too. But no, just appreciation. It don't even have to look like fireworks and this or that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But just a understanding of gratitude. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that ladies, from what I hear, want and expect or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Dudes kind of get wind of that and try to do this or that. You know what I'm saying? Ladies almost look at it as if like, well, oh, because you can still blah, 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 blah. It's always more.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? How about appreciate? If I was to leave, sure, you could find somebody else to do it. But the time that you're going to take to try to find that cat, how about just say, hey, I see you.
Okay. That actually leads into what actually.
How about them good morning texts? Y'all get a ton of good morning texts. When's the last time you texted a dude good morning?
Flat out. Just
right.
Before anything.
Hey, don't
play with me because I will go to his text thread and be like, it's every other. He says good morning.
Okay.
Everybody tries.
No doubt.
We actually try to beat each other. He wins.
let me get my
No.
Hey guys, don't get off the subject before I get my answer.
Go ahead.
He beats me to it a lot of times because his kid is like
so he already
20 something. My daughter is 10, so normally I'm up with her. He doesn't get up until after me, so normally he beats me to the good morning. But we try to beat each other to the
that's dope.
The good morning
Seriously,
stuff.
No bullshit.
Oh, see, I am a better girl. I'm better
I ain't
girl
never
than
doing this
Javen thought.
virtually.
I want to hear
Y'all hear me or no?
But Anthony, what can women do differently so men feel unconditional?
I lost my track. No, I'm just playing. What they can do differently is, in my opinion, is stop being judgmental.
That's
That's the
hard.
biggest. Yeah, that's why.
Hard.
If it's easy,
I ain't
we
even
want-
gonna lie. That's hard. But go ahead, finish.
stop being judgmental and keep expectations at expectations and don't make them obligations.
That's a good one,
And I'm gonna
actually.
keep it real simple. Just those two things right there.
That's good.
Damn, I want to ask you a question.
That's, go for it. We got another minute or so.
And from what you just said, when you say don't be judgmental, what do you feel as though triggers the judgment?
Anything that's not becoming to her, like if she wants some red bottoms, but you only probably could afford some they still nice, but they still not red bottoms. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She might start judging them like, is he working hard enough? Is he applying himself? Why don't he have it? You know what I'm saying? All of that, from the house you live in to the car you drive. When you got to pick up from work, if you got to pick up in one of them little bitty Mr. Peabody cars, or
I like Mini Coopers, number one.
Oh God, no.
and all her friends right there when you pull up. You know what I'm saying? She gonna hop in that so happy, or she gonna be like cringing as you pull up and she seeing you coming down the street like, please everybody leave before you get here. Please everybody leave.
So do you think it's more so image and social conscious than actually what they already know about the person?
Again, I think mainly for a man, it's all related to some type of monetary or sexual activity.
Yeah.
Either or.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I went to pick up one of my boys once, and this girl was like, when you gonna stop working so much? And he's like, when you gonna stop spending money? And I was like, oh.
He was like, all right, then, go to work.
Hey, right.
Good call.
Good call. All right, yeah.
Yeah, this gonna be for hours.
Right.
Okay, so I think that's a good place to end this. Thank you, Anthony. I know, and Javen and Solomon. I know I've pushed you guys to talk about this, and I kind of pushed you guys in some of your thought process. But I think overall, I get what I still question if you guys are actually asking to be unconditionally loved. To me, it more sounds like you guys are asking to be loved in a way that, and I'm trying to think of how to say this, to be loved more. Like Javen, you said, like, just to say thank you and just to get good morning texts. Those are not unconditional. Those are just loving acts.
To
and
you,
it's not, well,
to
I mean,
a man though, they come off a different way.
But Solomon just nodded like they're loving acts.
Wait a second. They are loving, but they're showing the unconditional. You ain't got to worry about that. You probably getting that from motherfuckers that are not your
So
guy.
you just want to argue with me for the sake of fucking arguing? Because I'm rolling with what you're saying. All I'm saying is I don't think it's in an unconditional space. I think it's just in a loving space.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like if my daughter, right? I do stuff for her not because of an unconditional space, but because I just love her. Like I'm like, you're beautiful.
That's unconditional.
It's not from an unconditional space. It's from a loving space. It's from a motherly space. And I think what you're asking for is just for things to come from a loving space. Like, I love you, good morning. Or, you know, you had a rough day, just come and lay on me.
So what you're hearing is black men aren't actually even being loved, period.
That's kind of what I'm hearing. Or like, at minimum, you guys don't feel loved, right? You guys, and if you don't feel it, then it's not happening.
It's a service.
What do you mean by service?
It's a service. We get love from service.
We've already established that.
No, I'm just saying.
But what I'm saying, all I'm saying is what I'm hearing is you guys don't feel loved.
Right.
Which I can't argue with that. I don't even know if you guys feel loved after doing the service.
Depends.
I don't know if that's true.
Depends. Yeah.
But that's what I'm hearing. And I could be 100% off base, but just having a conversation with you three very intelligent men and the drunk one to my right, you guys just really want to be loved. And I can't argue that. I mean, everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to feel special, and men are no different. So I'll give you guys 10 seconds to say any 30 seconds to say any last things, and we're going to get up out of here. So Anthony, you got any last words for the audience?
I'm just going to be leaving with, since the beginning of the time, like somebody brought up why a woman was created. If you want to go with biblical, a woman was created to be there for a man. to be that rib and be his support. And in the beginning of the time, God gave them everything. The entire garden said, do everything you want to do. And everything was all good. And all she had to do was love him, but she couldn't unconditionally love him without eating from that tree.
Talk to him. Talk to him, man. God damn it.
So she couldn't just love him to love him. Why can't we eat from the tree? You know what I mean? And that's
So it's
all I'm
always
gonna say.
it's women's fault. Yeah, we
It's
back
not-
here.
It's not women's fault.
I
but
was
women
being
are-
sarcastic.
Women are a man's muse.
That was sarcasm. Javen, what you got? What are your last words?
In the end, if we start just all looking at each other, men and women, as just humans, we all have emotions. Whether I'm used to doing this or used to doing that. How about how you are used to being conducted? Just give that. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to put one or the other on a pedestal to where you don't tit for tat. If you don't do this, I'm not going to do that. We get along a lot better because we're still going to have our differences. That's just innate. That's just how we are. But we don't even want to understand what the differences are anymore.
Okay.
It's just like follow me.
All right, I can roll with that. Shockingly, me and Javen are
See, look at
leave
that.
with
We
some
agree.
agreements.
Check that out.
Solomon,
I was just gonna speak to that. Just okay.
okay, good.
I was just gonna say thank you to everybody that's been watching. All you Facebook users that are anonymous, go ahead and throw your name up there. You know,
Well,
like
they're
I
not-
said,
well, let
say
me-
it with your
Please.
chest.
No.
Please,
So
seriously.
to give them
all
some
love.
bail, right? They actually have to click a link. There's at the top of the
Okay.
stream that says allow StreamYard to show your name. If
Okay.
they don't click that, then you can't
Show
see
your
them. And they're
name.
not doing it on purpose.
I'm
They just
definitely
you
with
have
you,
to know it was
All
there.
right, but
Totally.
thank you, Miss. Thank you, Miss Moody, for your comments. Miss Stiegel, to my boy E.T. Eric Tillman, thank you. Anthony, thank you. I agree with a lot of what you said. So
Thank you, brother.
know,
Thank
big
you
up.
guys for having me. I appreciate it. I always love it here.
And
Thank
always
y'all
a
guys for
pleasure,
having
and
me. I'm the host.
always.
Y'all the guests.
Oh yeah.
You know
Thank
what I'm
me
saying?
for having you.
Thanks.
I'm
Thanks
being
for
a-
allowing
being
me
a-
to be had.
Yes. I love you. Oh, you can come back. You want to come back next week?
Okay.
Okay.
He said-
All right. Well, thank you, audience. It's been a pleasure. I hope you learned as much as I did. As I said, I was really yes.
I'm sorry for being loud to whoever said that.
You always loud on here, Javen.
I can't help
Always loud.
it. I'm a loud motherfucker.
Thank you for watching. I hope you guys learned as much as I learned. I do feel like, one of the things I'm taking on for 2022 is listening to men more and understanding many of the things you guys talk about as far as your feelings and how you feel the world sees you. So I've really been taking on this idea of really understanding men's point of view. And this was just another opportunity for, even though we did go back and forth a tiny bit. I do think I walked away with a lot more understanding about at least this subject at hand. So thank you guys for listening and thank you guys for educating me. So I'll see you guys next week. Be False. I know I said he was going to be on this week, but Be False be too busy. So hopefully we can get him in next week.
Yeah, I can only imagine if he was on this.
And we'll do this again next week. Bye guys.